performance, errors in performance appraisal. We have done a bit of introduction into performance management, definition, why it is done, and why it is important to have a performance management system in an
There are responses
organization.
in the chat room already, in the chat
Okay,
box already. Attractor says ATM mentality.
okay, thank you.
Apostle says she's learned about system error routines and training.
Yes. Mm.
Okay. Shea says the fact that you mentioned about not to always assume that that was for him, as
Mm.
in don't always assume that the people know.
People know
Yeah.
that's it.
I won't read Tony's comments. Zachariah Ogwade says communication
Why
with us.
why you not reading Tony's comment?
She knows why. Zachariah Ogwade says communication with all stakeholders, retraining. Charity Janet, they are here from you. Ruto Joe says employee problem, ATM mentality. Chidima Okoronko says errors in rating, knowledge assumption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Knowledge assumption, errors in rating. Okay, thank you. I think we are flowing, and I appreciate that. Welcome if you are just joining in. Like I was saying, we have talked about what performance management is briefly, and then we have defined what an error is. We say error is a mistake, an omission, a deviation from the main course. And for appraisal, there are various types of error. There are three. For the purpose of this presentation, it's been categorized into three. We have talked about one. The first one we talked about is the system error, which has to do with the rating, the ATM mentality, and the training error. That's for the appraiser and the appraisee, assuming or assumption of people having the knowledge. And how to mitigate such error or to avoid that error is to have enough awareness, training, and training on such errors, on the types of error, the effects, the impact the error can have on the overall objective of the business. And we can do that training or awareness in different communication manner, model of communication. I mean, it could be like an email, it can be like a nugget, it could be placed on notice board, a town hall meeting, an awareness section, a policy awareness section as well. So we go straight down to the second type of error, appraisal error, and it's the performance error. The performance error. So for performance error, these are errors that I have listed some here. There are errors that include inadequate time inadequacy. Maybe the time you have, for example, last year we want to we've gotten a new software to use for our performance appraisal. And because it's a new software, we had the testing phase. For the testing phase, we gave a period of 3 weeks to have everybody take the appraisal and the line managers appraise the individual and then submission and all that. So the different stages of appraisals, we gave a period of 3 weeks from first week of December to the third week of December to have it done. And that was for the test phase, to just like a trial to see how the system works, to test and to check all the things that needs to be put in place. And after this has been done, the following year, that's the mid-year, when we want to do the first appraisal, as in the first one after the test phase, the human resources department decided that okay, this should be people should be able to do this in 2 weeks. When you were testing, you did 3 weeks. And the point is, oh, 3 weeks because it's new, we need to tell people what to do, we need to handhold them. And there's an error already in that timing. Remember that the first time when we are doing the appraisal trial using the software, the 3 weeks, there had been inputs, there had been things to take out, there had been things to add. So when you now want to deploy the system, it's still as good as new, even though it's been tested, but there are some correction and there are some additions that have been brought into it. So you now decide to give 2 weeks timing for the whole process is inadequate. Ordinarily, we would say the timing should be the same, like 3 weeks, and then by the time we are trying it again or we are taking the exercise, maybe the second biannual by the end of the year, you could not limit it to 2 weeks, having in mind that, oh, people have done this first, second, and then this is like the third